Hey, what's up YouTube, Skybadger here, and we are back on day 30 of our 22-player Clash of Nations beta tournament series. So, we're still in first, and if you have a look at the largest economies, we are in first place, as you'd expect, considering we are the biggest. Sweden has done a lot to catch up to us and is closing the gap in terms of EP points, but his economy is still lagging behind a bit. At least that's how it appears. So, it's been a little bit of a jump since the last episode. And last time I left off, we were fighting in France. Sweden had pushed into the Swedish border, and we were countering and defending it. Now, that went really well. If we come back into the newspaper and we have a look at ourselves, we can see that although we've dealt heavy casualties, nearly 70,000 to Spain, we've only taken really 2,000. So, you know, we're nearly on about a 1 to 35 kill ratio. So 1 to 35 isn't bad, it could be better, but I slipped a few times and made a few mistakes. So with that in mind, all good, that hasn't patrolled yet. We'll get to that in a second. Let's just get that patrolling again, and because there's aircraft in the area, we will get aircraft out. Right, it's really finicky at the moment. Must be our dev team must be working on something, but it's really hard to select aircraft, so we'll get those up as well, just until we get to that, just in case. Anyway, so we were very quickly and easily able to counterattack the Spanish forces, and we were taking basically all of the Spanish territory in the north. This province here, we bowed to day change, and we had captured it, but we're just going back in to get it now. I was able to grab some land, and I had to really gain it quick and be really aggressive about this. Sweden was taking up most of the land, and considering the amount of casualties I inflicted on the enemy, while I didn't do all the work, and Sweden definitely paid a price, definitely worth something, the amount of casualties and the amount of damage I dealt to Spain. So with that said, we're now at the point now where we're going to come down and we're going to start to cross the Mediterranean Sea and the Gibraltar Strait, I believe it is. So that's the next part. Now at the moment, I was going to set up a screen across here and provide a safe zone where ships could pass over, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that. Like, I mean, I really want to make sure that although I'll get a coalition victory, I really want to make sure that I'm way ahead when that happens. So for the time being, I'm not going to provide safe passage over to here, even to myself, especially while my forces are still moving into position. Once I can provide safe passage over, I'll get my troops over and then let Sweden follow, just to make sure I can get over there first. A little selfish, but yeah, I want to get there first, and I want to deal the final blow. Over here, you can also see that we made some major progress with Egypt. We were able to sneak in a lot of troops down here in the south, across here. He had all his destroyers up here at one point, so we were able to sneak them past, and he didn't even notice, which was awesome. So with that said, we are now making a lot of progress, and he's only actually just started reacting. Today he sent out a few troops from he's still active. He sent a few troops out that were garrisoned in the cities around his capital to start taking back land, but he forgot to deploy anti-air with them. So, you know, a bit of a bad move there. I can probably actually get in range and start bombing that out soon. Oh, that's a good target. I really need to take out the railroad guns, because at the moment the railroad guns are what's stopping me from progressing any further up. So if I can get the railroad guns, I'm all good to start moving again. So I'll deal with this target here and then prioritize the railroad guns. So made some good projects in Egypt, and at the moment we've just got a few groups shelling out enemy troops and just taking out cities. Because I mean, although there is a formidable group right there, by itself it can't do much to free commandos. So we just got our commandos and our main groups on standby while we shell it out and then go in. This is playing the long game, and no, it probably won't even have troops in here within the next 12 hours. Probably more than 12 hours, but I'll be asleep. So it will take some time to actually get into the city, and then I have to move along, and I have to do the next city, shell it out, then go in, then all the way over to here. That one's going to take some time. Luckily for us, though, we are building another artillery piece down here. To also help with the situation with the enemy railroad guns, I have also started to invest in level 3 infrastructure down here, so I can produce my own railroad guns. That will give us the ability to counter their railroad guns, basically. I also want to destroy these ships in here because they're scouting out along the coast, and then they can provide targets for the railroad guns, which can then hit my troops in here. So I have to be really careful about that. I don't want to retreat these troops. Actually, I probably could retreat these troops a little further back. So I'll retreat them down to like there. Maybe the border. I'll retreat them to the border. And yeah, so that's the plan right there. I am moving this group down, and they will start bombing out these ships, and we should be good to go. In terms of research at the moment, we're not really researching all that much. We are going in for level 2 rockets and upgrading our cruisers. In our naval tab, I just really want to get everything in line and get everything up to at least level 3, and then go for the next upgrade. So that's what's happening there. We're just trying to level everything up and get everything to an even point again. The reason I'm getting rockets is because I've got plenty of materials at the moment. I can afford to start splashing out and really start focusing on that sort of thing and trying to really spam out some rockets. And spamming out rockets would be a good way to make the most of the resources I've built up. So that's the plan right there. Right, I should probably actually do something about this before those naval bombers finish their patrol. We do not want them to finish their patrol. Because, well, they could do, but it would be annoying. Anyway, so let's send the battleships up. The battleships are going to move up and they're going to attack like that. I then want the... Okay. So the carriers, they can stay with the battleships. Then the next group, the cruisers, they'll move up and they will attack. There's also them to attack as well. And by that point, the destroyers can move up and attack. And hopefully the destroyers will be dealt with, so they will not be able to return fire. And then in the meantime, we need to set up a screen with the submarines to make sure the enemy submarines do not push back, so the submarines will go split that up. And at the same time though, oh, this is awkward. Okay, so I'll send a few subs up there to block that way. And there's no port down there, so don't have to worry about that, no port down there. So, and I'll send the rest of the subs back here to block that way. So we should be good, and yeah, that should work right there. So ships will get into range pretty soon. Open fire, hopefully take out those battleships, and we will be good. So for the time being, oh, I sent up the tactical bombers, not the interceptors. That wouldn't have helped much if he had attacked. That probably would have made things worse. Tactical bombers aren't cheap, right? Let's get those back on the carrier. Get that going. At the same time, it's probably worth at this point, instead of just having them sit on the carrier deck for the next few hours, let's just get them out and get them patrolling. So let's see what we can spot in enemy territory. Actually, let's patrol a little bit more up the coast. Let's get the tactical bombers flying over to there. We'll get the naval bombers to patrol side over here. And can we select the interceptors? Not at the moment. I'll deal with that later. Being really touchy at the moment with this sort of thing. So I'll get the interceptors out patrolling around here, and then we should be all good. At the moment, we're not training any troops other than commandos and artillery. Commandos are still queued up, and we're not building all that much. I am building 3 industrial centers. Ooh, I am building 4 industrial centers, more than I thought, to increase food production. And as always, food is a major issue for us. Only having 2 core food producing provinces is making it really, really hard. So actually, while we've got some resources, let's just spend some more, because I mean, you can never have too much food. Important life lesson. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.